Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 Truck podcast. Here's your host, Ronnie Wetch.
What up, C10 Nation? A little sponsor spotlight. And, I thought I would reach out to the sponsors. So I have sponsors for the main show and then obviously the first ride. Ultimately, we've got 8 sponsors behind us. And sometimes we play commercials. Commercials are probably a little repetitive. You guys know who the sponsors are. And I'm a firm believer in support those that support you and us. But sometimes these guys get new stuff and they have new things going on. And we live in such a fast-paced social media world where you might see something and then it's kind of gone. And you're like, I'd like to know more about that. So I reached out to my sponsors and I said, hey, let's do a little sponsor spotlight segment. And we'll pitch them out to the nation and just kind of update you guys on what goes on with these companies. What's new, what's improved, what they have to offer you as you maintain, build, and create your truck. So I contemplated doing all of the shows, 8 of them, 5 to 7 minutes, and then put it into one episode. But that's kind of long because, I'll probably go more than 5 to 7 minutes. And we've got a couple for you today. So they're about 10 minutes. First round is going to be US Mags and Dakota Digital. Both have new stuff for 2018, which is exciting. And new stuff is good. New options, new tech. So that's it. Here we go. I've got essentially there'll be 6 more sponsors, and I'll probably just do 3 more shows. I'll just tandem them up just like this. Give you guys something to listen to. Maybe not quite as long as it would have been, a full hour, probably hour and a half, whereas this is 20 minutes. And you'll be updated US Mags and Dakota Digital. So we appreciate you taking time. We appreciate you listening. Adams Polishes, we've been going back and forth on trying to schedule a little interview. Hopefully that happens tomorrow. And if it doesn't, then we'll still make it work. So I've got a couple killer builders coming up, some really good stuff right in the pipeline. And then before you know it, I was just looking at today. C10's in the park. C10 Intervention. The Get Down, SEMA, so much going on. Fall, baby. It's truck fever. So C10 fever. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy this. Sponsor Spotlight, US Mags, Dakota Digital. Late. All right, guys, starting it off with a bang. We've got Mario Pelaya. Mario is out of the Bay Area in Cali. And, dude, US Mags, you guys are killing it, Mario.
Yeah, we've been doing pretty good. We've been happy with the response that we've been getting the past couple of years. So.
One thing that really, when I think of US Mags right out of the gate, I think of like the Scottsdale, the Sierra, the retro style that you guys have created based upon that vintage look.
Yeah, it was something that was needed, I believe, in the wheel market. I know there's a couple companies out there that do stuff in steel, but we wanted to do it in billet sizes because, the truck market has evolved so much doing those type of styles in billet and being able to do it in, half-inch widths or 1-inch increments of width. Adding that to that look just gives those trucks that old-school look with that new modern flair to it, but not changing too much of the look of the vehicle. It kind of helped out with that, and we did it with other, wheels too. As far as we got copies for the Trans Am, we got copies for the Chevelles and whatnot. Obviously, the Scottsdale and the Sierra did really well. I actually have a set of Scottsdales on my 70 C10, which we use for the ad. So, but it's a style that I've always liked, and they fit the OE Chevy caps or Ford caps. If you have an F100 guy. It's something that we needed, and I feel we filled that void pretty well, and it's done really well for us.
What about the new 2018 stuff? What are you looking at there? What do you want to get the word out on? To the C10 Nation.
We got a new style that actually I basically kind of headlined with. It's called the Boulevard, BLVD, instead of having that big old long word. But it's a style that actually has a cap that covers the lug nuts. We've obviously been known for doing stuff with exposed lug nuts, but we feel we kind of needed something to be able to start a new line of wheels that actually have cap-covered wheels that it's kind of reminiscent of, the early day of the Boyds and the Budnicks and the Bill of Specialties. All those guys had caps on it, and they do it obviously for reasons of being able to fit multiple vehicles. But we're starting out with the size N20. It's a 5-hole wheel. It actually is on our website right now. We actually have the chrome style in that's basically in stock right now. It's called the Boulevard U126. It's got the same sizes as a 20 by 8.5, 20 by 9, but we are going to be adding more sizes as the wheels gets more popular. It's got a nut that actually holds the cap on, and actually you can actually upgrade that nut to an actual knockoff. So it really gives it that old school retro look with some new flair to it, obviously, and more modern sizes too. But we do it for the 6-lug C10s, which we've never done before, which I know a lot of guys still want to keep the 6-lug for the mid 60s and the up to 70s C10s and the C5 Blazers. So that's something that we're really excited about this year. And then we're also going to be adding in our billet stuff. We're also going to be adding a cap cover lug segment as well, with styles to come throughout the year. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably an ever-changing, trying to keep up with not only the demand of the market, but the different styling and finding that balance.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to, we always don't want to follow a trend. We've always been known, MHT as a company has always been evolving as a trendsetter, but sometimes we have to follow the trend because we can't keep our eye on every segment of the automotive market. So fortunately, I'm the brand manager for US Mag, and I'm really into the old school stuff. And I have a C10, I have a C5 Blazer, but I have other old schools as well. So it keeps me really in tune with what trend is kind of really coming in, what we need, what we're missing. Thank God I'm able to help fill that void. I can't do it all by myself, so sometimes we do have to follow other people. But if we can perfect the leader and then pass him up, then all to the good for us, because we're still doing well at the styles. So.
You brought up, you mentioned MHT. For the audience, MHT is the parent, obviously, for US and US Mags. What about MHT? Do you guys have some styles that you see C10 and truck guys rocking as well?
Yeah, well, under the MHT brand, we have 6 different brands. We have US Mag, of course. We have Foos. We have a tucking series under Foos that a lot of the guys are using, that kind of stuff as well. We have his vintage series. We have the old school nitrous and the Legend, which has been out for a while. We have our dub wheels. We notice a lot of the guys are using our dub stuff from 22s, 24s, and 26s on C10s and Blazers. We actually have some on our website. Then we have the Fuel Off-Road, which is a brand that's kind of blew up in our face. We started doing it, and the demand for our product, which is so high, we couldn't fill our orders quick enough. So, but luckily we're to a point where that brand it's evolved us as a company into a way bigger company than what we were 10 years ago. And then we also have niche and rotor form. Every one of our brands actually has probably about 6 different segments of wheels under that brand. We do our Forge stuff. With anything you see Forged on any one of those websites, we can build it for a C10 or a Blazer or whatnot. So, a lot of the designs are just different. Niche, we kind of aim it more towards the sports car market. Rotiform is a little bit of an old school with a European twist. US Mag, of course, is really old school. It started back in the 60s. Foos is a world-renowned car builder that, he came on with MHT almost 20 years ago. We were actually one of the first brands that actually helped him out when he first left, after he left Boyd, when Boyd went under. And then we've been we've been partners with him for a very, very long time. So, and then Dove, Dove's been a brand since the big wheel market came out, 10, 15 years ago. We've kind of had that name under our belt, and it's helped us out throughout the times. I know not a lot of people are not into the spinner game, but, we still sell a pretty good amount of spinners. But, we have a little bit of everything to fill the void of everybody's style differences.
The spinner, you had me perplexed on that people still buy them, but I've got to believe you. I think the cool, when I hear you say what you say is you look at a parent company and you think, you guys have got so much diversity in your company, in the MHT company, that obviously the wheel game is strong over there with you guys, and you know exactly what you're doing and keeping up with the trends and keeping up with the styles.
Yeah, and that's something that the owner of the company, he's been in the business since his dad started US Mag in the 60s with Parnelli Jones. So growing up in it, he lives and breathes this stuff, and working for a guy who has that in him to follow it and just likes to try new stuff. I think it starts with him, and it trickles down to all of the employees and all of us still being excited about working for a guy for as long as we have, Who doesn't like to play with cars,
Exactly. That's why we're all here. We love them when we're little, and I don't think we get much better the older we get.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fortunate business to be in. So.
What would you say is your number one wheel that you see going out for US Mags?
I'm gonna say the Rambler.
Yeah.
That wheel came out a couple years ago, and we started adding sizes, and the wheel has done really, really well. We did a chrome finish and we did a gray finish that everybody's probably seen, and we also actually added a gloss black finish with the polished lip. And then just 2 weeks ago, I got samples of a new finish. It's actually going to be black and milled. So it's a style that we're still doing pretty well with. I know a lot of people don't like putting the same wheels on something someone else saw before, but it's a timeless design, and it's just a good-looking wheel. So
I want to see this new one you got coming out, because the Ramblers looks really good on obviously a 10-spoke, but just look really classy on, like a 6772. You see them on there a lot. Actually, you guys on your website, you have them on like a 64, 66 GMC, black on black, and they look really good there too. So you can't go wrong. They look good on C10s.
Yeah, and it does really well. And then, another wheel with the C10 that we've done really well with is called the Hustler. It's a simple, clean 5-spoke wheel, but we did it in our 20s and 22-inch sizes. With a lot of guys want that 2211, but may not have that budget to spend $900 to $1,000 a wheel on one of our US Mag Forge wheels. So we offered it in the cast, which is a lot more economical, and it's done really well for us as well. So we're trying to add styles to where they're not too close to each other in design, but still have something to where we can, still move some product and put some good-looking wheels out there on the market. So.
You brought up fuel, and one thing that's new for you guys that you and I are working together on for a future project that I've got going on is the new dually forge stuff. So yeah, I'm assuming, you go from, fuel and all the history of MHT. Now US Mags has got a dually wheel. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, the dually setups, we have 3 different designs. We have the old slotted mag, which a lot of people call them Ansons or whatever not. That's the old vintage kidney bean wheel. We started doing that one in a dually, really sweet looking. Then we have another kind of more of a 5-spoke looking wheel, kind of what they call the Daisy. And then we also do a multi-hole wheel, which is reminiscent of the old Centerline, like old Champ 500 wheels, which has just a bunch of holes. But it's got that old Alcoa look, but with a twist of a smaller size and deeper offsets and sizes that you're actually able to put on a vehicle instead of having to machine stuff down from a 22 1/4 or sizes like that. We make them ready bolt on for the vehicles without having to do any mods or adapter uses or whatever. So it's something we're slowly getting into it. We're doing really well with fuel, but we want to limit our sizes and styles within US Mag so it doesn't compete with the other stuff. But with the old school looks, I think it's a completely different market. So.
Cool. Well, that's what we got for you, Mario. I think, for our audience, there's so much going on over there at MHT, and then specifically for us, US Mags. Best place to check you out, obviously, is us-mags.com. And then if you guys want to check out, obviously, anything that MHT runs, you can just, is it MHT.com?
MHTwheels.com.
Okay, MHTwheels.com. Check them out. Mario, thanks for coming on today and kind of expanding on everything you guys have going on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I do appreciate it. And thanks to the C10 Nation out there for supporting our product. Thank you, guys.
Awesome, man. Thanks, Mario. Have a good week.
You too. Thanks.
See you, buddy. All right, guys, just moving along with our interviews today. Our sponsor spotlight, pretty cool, just to kind of catch up with these guys and find out what's new. Next up, Dakota Digital. We've got Greg Carpy. Greg's been on the show. We've not only had him on the full feature episode, but we've heard his lovely and beautiful voice on some of the ads. So, Greg, good to sit down with you today. How's everything going?
Good to see you too, Ronnie, and everything is awesome. Things are moving along real well in South Dakota, and we're having a good time. Good. So what's new at Dakota Digital? The newest stuff that we're most excited about is the RTX series. That's RTX for short. The full name is the RetroTech series, and it's another line of direct fit instrument systems, kind of, if you're familiar with the HDX system, where you can change the lighting colors, and you've got that full color message center and what have you, RTX has all of those same features, but it looks much more like a factory cluster.
Which really guys like. In my mind, guys love old school look, new school features, new school technology. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And we've been getting a lot of requests for, can you make a custom overlay? Can we change the look? And almost every time I want it to look stock. So we thought, fine, we can do that. And so we've got, mimicking the original font and the tick marks, special needles that look like the stock needles, and some of the applications, totally different layout than we've done in the past. So, like say the upcoming 64-6 C10 is finally going to have that long speedometer sweep in the center. So it's going to look, at first glance, the casual observer is going to think they're stock until you hit the key and they light up purple or green or blue or whatever you want. And so we're pretty jazzed about those.
Yeah, that is going to be absolutely take off. I think you guys will kill it on that. That very unique look, very different, very the same but very different, because everything we've seen now is circular versus that long needle gauge to sweep all the way left and right. I'm sure that was a big work in progress.
Yeah, very much so. So in the past with the VHX and the HDX, sometimes we can get by with, this board layout will work in several openings, but now they're much more specialized. So yeah, a lot of custom boards, some new methods and kind of new technologies that we've never really worked with to get, first and foremost, it has to look right, and then we have to go back and figure out how to make it work. So yeah, it's been a long process. And at Good Guys Columbus, so that was early July, we released the first 7 applications, but there's a ton more in progress and a lot more in the pipeline.
Cool. Yeah, it's there's obviously an endless amount of trucks that you could do, cars, trucks. You guys do just about everything. You've got it laid out. I actually just clicked on the website because what I was going to look at is those. I know Travis at Pro Performance. The 88 to 94 stuff, and you think about that. I've got an 88 GMC, and it's funny to think about the way that those gauges originally came out, the way that circular would rotate through, come back around full circular, and you guys offer a little bit of everything. And I love to tell my audience is like those gauges are cool and they're old and they're faded, but when you get a taste of a Dakota Digital, whether like for me VHX, an HDX, a retro, I mean I don't know that you can really get enough of it.
That's exactly right. Like some guys, I like the stock ones, I like that look. But once you drive, even a VHX set at night and see that backlighting, it's so crisp and so clear. And then you've got those message centers that show you anything you want, really. They're expandable to just about everything. It's hard to go back. You kind of wonder what took so long to make the upgrade.
Yeah, and the other thing that's unfortunately is my eyes aren't getting any better. And when the older we get, we're sitting in that cab and driving at night, or even really in the daytime. But even some of the message center, if you're taking a trip, and some of these guys they're making their trucks a lot more reliable. They've got LS conversions, and they're doing long hauls. It's like, hey, you can keep a little bit better track of different things going on from tranny temp, oil temp, trip meters, and everything going on, and all the different things that Dakota Digital and upgrading your cluster really does for you.
Exactly. Yeah. So not only is it able to display all that info, we have a couple of modules that make adding that info really, really easy. So we've got a little device that'll plug into your diagnostic connector in like an OEM or like a GM computer type situation and read all that data straight off the computer. Or we've got a couple newer ones for aftermarket EFI. So if you're running a Holley EFI system or a FAST, we've got a unit that'll plug in to the computer and kind of make use of the data that's already there. No sense putting in extra sensors and kind of reinventing the wheel. So, yeah, definitely expandable and definitely becoming more and more user-friendly and simpler installations.
You guys do a lot of shows. I know Columbus is a big one for you guys. I mean, it's probably one of the best barometers out there because you're just interacting with so many people. What are you seeing from not only just aftermarket automotive, but a little bit of C10s as well mixed in there?
More, like you said, more technology, more reliable, and then more of that vintage look. It seems like the truck world, we saw it kind of with mini trucks back in the day, that let's see how crazy we can make them, and then it sort of came back down to let's make them subtle, let's make them smooth, just kind of refine what's there, and it's kind of nice to see that we're kind of evening out in the truck world, if you will, that they're a little more classic looking, a little more tasteful, but still definitely modified and still becoming more reliable.
Cool. For the audience, probably the best way to figure out where to find these just kick-ass, rad-ass products that Dakota Digital does offer is on their website, dakotadigital.com. They've got find a dealer, and then it takes you right into a map, and then you click your state and figure out, hey, this is where I need to order. And now with we've got the way that shipping works out. Obviously, AZ Pro Performance out here in Arizona is one of the biggest dealers, one of your big dealers for Dakota Digital. Anything else you really want to let the C10 Nation know?
Definitely getting to the website is, like you said, the best resource. It's got all the pictures of the color options and the features. The installation manuals are online, so if you've got a system and you threw away the paperwork, don't know how to calibrate it, just get online. They're all there. We also are on Instagram and Facebook, so take a look at us there. But for all the little ins and outs, the website's still the winner just because it has the most stuff available.
Do you feel like when you're interacting with the customer, you said something that the installation, I just want my audience to know that if I can do it, you can do it, and it's not that hard. Do you feel like people are worried or concerned about the level or the skill level of installing these clusters?
We definitely get those kind of questions. How hard is this? Is something a regular guy can do? And by all means, a regular guy. If you've got especially a wiring schematic for the truck you're working on, or a test light and a multimeter, definitely just dig in and with the supplied sensors or that OBD2 module, whatever the case may be, it really takes a lot of the guesswork out, and everything that has to change would be supplied. And then we're definitely here. We've got some good tech support guys on the phone, so if you run into something you can't figure out, shoot us an email, give us a call, and we'll get you back on track.
And for GM guys, everybody that's in the C10 Nation, when you make that first cut on your original wiring harness that goes into the back of your gauges, it's like, oh boy, here we go. But
now I'm doing it.
There's no turning back. But it's really just reading colors of wires, which are for GM, it's all the same, and a few little just trimming some shielding there and some wiring, and then just putting wires into the back of the computer, and then from there the computer does all the work and talks over to the gauge, and then it's pretty much a few screws and sets it up. It goes right into your original dash. There's not really any kind of modification there, and it's absolutely something that we could all do. You can do. I'm telling you, if I can do it, you can do it. It's clean, and you should not be intimidated by it at all.
Definitely. Agreed. You got it.
Okay. You guys keep doing what you're doing. We love your product. The key about good product is great people behind it. And for us, that's, pretty much Scott and Greg are our go-to. Thanks again, Greg, for sitting down with us and just spreading the love.
Definitely, man. Thanks for having me.
Okay, buddy. Have a great week.
You too.